county doesn't fund the library system, and the state's pretty well funded other than penal fines and so. The millage is the only funding for them.
It's more.
Well, I had a card for years, you know, and I worked on some. I went one day and they said that I needed to buy almost $40, I just had a big one. So I called the other day, I don't know, a while ago, it was $60. I mean, it works out there.
Tax bills didn't get cheaper.
No.
Shitty, crazy. Again. Oh, big Thank you. Hello. Good. Selling the lights for my two quarters ahead.
Jody's gone, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Jody's in Florida.
Three cats.
He is in Florida.
My husband promised they broke her. When 4-0.
I left mine out.
Justin said it was pouring down there today.
Made it.
Oh, in Florida.
So we saw it.
Oh,
Yeah.
the treasure?
Oh, that's
In
true.
Florida, the girl takes all
Yeah,
the
I'm
money.
too much
In
for
Florida.
Wow.
We're here, that's what's wrong, isn't it?
No.
I don't think so either. While his waddles froze and his home.
So was Ruth.
Yeah, he was swelled up like this, you know. It just was so cold. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it.
Kind of a boring meeting tonight.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
New house, where's the new house going?
Hmm?
New house,
Yeah,
where's it going?
the rest of the work. Yeah. I think that's all okay. Did you get that back from that? For what? Well, just for February. Yeah. This one right here. Yeah.
Okay.
Did we?
He's there. Oh, just finished dinner, thank you.
If you want to do that, I'll get that. Oh. Well, on a recorder phone? What? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Caroline, do we have a roll call?
Mr. Bryla?
Here.
Mrs. Sweeney?
Here.
Mr. Apple?
Here.
Mrs. Tremble here, Mr. Platzer absent.
Do we have a motion to accept our consent agenda for $235,544.47?
Yeah, I'll move to accept that, that's fine.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve our consent agenda. Are there any questions? Can we have a roll call vote?
Mr.
Caroline?
Bryla?
Yes.
Mrs. Mooney?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Tremble, yes.
Citizens wishing to address the board.
Before you go any further, when are we gonna do this budget? Don't we usually do a public hearing before we start meeting, or?
It's down under new business, Sal. I guess I didn't put it as public hearing on the
Oh,
agenda,
We
but that's
just got
what.
it on
Okay, just, okay,
business.
okay, that's fine. So, good.
Mhm.
Robert Abernathy.
Yes, sir. The property tax millage was not put on the website. The notice of it was, but, so we were expected to come in here and pick up that for review, is that correct?
Mhm.
Is there any reason it didn't go on the website?
The property tax amount?
Whatever.
The millage?
I don't know what it is, so.
You mean the millage
Generally,
tax
those
itself?
kinds of things have been put on the website for review by the public.
Okay,
As
not on
opposed to
ours, though.
having them.
Yeah, not on ours yet, but, okay, what it is, .6731. Is the property tax millage for Burtchville? It's been that for years, I guess
Oh,
that's
okay.
why. It didn't go on with it. We didn't put the General Appropriations Act on there. Okay, we just put the notice of the public hearing on that.
Okay. I also found out that Jeff's was replaced by another company in a 9 o'clock in the morning meeting, and approved by 3 of you. I want to just express that I'm really disappointed in the 3 of you by replacing Jeff's for the township, and not getting more than 1 bid. I think that's just uncalled for. I don't think it serves the public, and that doesn't make you look good. I think if you're trying to save us money, and you've got 4 companies out there that you know about, you should contact those 4 companies. This looks like it was just vindictive.
Anything else?
Is there a policy for getting bids for services? Or are you just allowed to pick up the phone and call one company
We
and be
can,
done with it?
we have that option of doing that.
Okay, so you can just call one company? I honestly think that should be changed. It's just not in the best interest of your spending our money to do that.
That's actually a state approved.
I understand, but
Right.
it's also, if you look in your manual,
Mhm.
it's not the recommended way of doing it. I reviewed that today. The state does recommend that it's in the best interest of the public to get as many bids as you possibly can. That's the best way for you to spend our money, not the other way around. Not just call up one company and say, hey, we're paying $125, give me a better deal, I'll give you the contract,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
The last thing is, why are we holding a public hearing on a holiday?
I don't know.
Sounds like a good idea, so we don't repeat what we've had in the past, with lots of people showing up.
Why, because you think they're all out there partying?
Oh, a lot of people are, I would say a vast
That's our
majority
regular
of people
meeting in
are.
March.
I get that, but,
But
We
that's
do it
only-
every year at our regular meeting in
It's
March. We
also-
do it every year,
okay,
you know.
but does it always fall on a holiday?
Well, I couldn't tell you that.
Oh, every 6 years it does.
Probably every 4 or 5 years.
Well,
We've
the
done
other
it before
thing-
on St. Patrick's Day.
If we had a special meeting, it would probably be in the morning, which is when we usually have them, because
Yeah,
that's when it
nobody-
works. And how many people would be here?
Not very many. Yeah. So I'm just saying, to be able to get as many people to come here, I mean, backing up your point, Mrs. Minnie, how many people would be here if you had it in the morning? The odds of it are very slim. And, when you're serving the public, I think trying to get as many people involved in helping make the decisions for the township, it's in the best interest of doing something in the time frame that most people could be here. Not making a major decision or a switch of business, et cetera, at 9 o'clock in the morning when you know nobody's gonna be here.
Well, the
That's
point
all I have-
is,
that's all I have to say.
is every March at the board meeting, we hold our budget meeting to approve our budget. Now, whether it falls on St. Patrick's Day or Valentine's Day or whatever day it falls on, that's just the way it turned out, There's no conspiracy here to do this stuff, And I don't like the way that you present that to the board, that we've got some big deal going on here, a conspiracy to, you know, on this budget, you know. So that's all I got to say about that. Does anybody else wish to address the, okay. I'd ask for a motion to approve the agenda, please.
I will make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll support it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Are there any questions beforehand?
Do we need to, we're gonna do the public hearing at C, is that what we're gonna do, on the other budget?
Yeah, we'll close and do the public hearing and then do the budget. Okay, Charlie, do we need a roll call?
No.
vote?
Ayes and nays on this.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Departmental reports. Mark, Fire Department.
Fuel tank was replaced on the engines, we talked about last month, so that's in, we got all the bills in, I submitted them, so they get paid in this budget year, and I get carried over, so that's all taken care of. Some of the local departments are getting their ISO ratings reviewed by the Insurance Services Office. And I think while they're in the area, I think we're gonna attempt to do that with ours. It's probably not gonna change any of the ratings in the water district, but in the non-water district, it looks like what everybody else is doing because of the new communication system and some other things that went on in the county. We got a pretty good chance of getting our fire rating lower in our non-hydrant area, which will help our homeowners by lowering their fire rating. So it's gonna take some work and some, testing and some other things.
When is that? When is that?
Well, I haven't scheduled it yet, I just wanna tell you, I'm gonna get that done.
Okay.
Because right now they're in the area, they've done a few other townships, and after talking to those chiefs, I think might be well worthwhile to bring them all, especially since they're in the area. I'm gonna see if we can get them here to run us through the test or see what needs to be done. So you can save their residents some money, right? Other than that.
That's it? Thank you very much. Building Department, Al?
Nothing, we got one building permit issue.
Okay.
Other than that, we're fine.
Water Department, everything seems to be running fine in the Water Department. Jane, Library.
The only building thing, I know that some of our ladies who attend the afternoon programs had sorted out all the chairs that didn't have the rubber tips on the bottom, and some of them got new ones and some didn't. I have them all back on the rack right now, but I don't guarantee that they won't sort them all out that don't have rubber tips on the bottom. I will say that they're right. The new, the finish on the new floor is scratching easily. I mean, you can see right where
Those all went bad all at once, or have they been bad?
they've been bad,
Okay.
yeah.
You couldn't get enough of them? Dusty couldn't get enough of them? I know you got.
I'm not sure
I
whether
think
he didn't.
he fixed the ones that were bad, I think. 'Cause he took
I think he
the,
fixed the ones that were still setting out.
Yeah.
But what happened is that between the time the ladies sorted out a whole pile of them that were bad, and the time that he actually came in to put new bottoms on the chairs, a couple
back
other
on the
meetings
rack.
had happened, the chairs get shuffled. That's one of the things, they get
They're-
shuffled
they're
all the
back on the
time.
rack.
So there are a few more back on the
Yeah,
rack
I'll
that are like
have
that.
to check those.
There have been no other building issues. We've had the people from AARP in doing taxes for senior citizens. They did a group today, and they will do another group on Wednesday, the 26th. That seems to be a very popular service.
Well, that's good.
And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Unfinished business, since we have none. We'll move on to the new business. Electrical inspector. We're losing our electrical inspector. We have a gentleman that's very well qualified. He does the inspections for Sand Lake County He does, I think he does Lapeer, and there's a couple other townships that he does too. Mark Grizzle is his name. He works, you know, like I said, in Sandline County and over in Lapeer. So, I don't know how the board wants to handle that. Do you want to,
Do you know him?
pardon me?
No,
I was just asking Al if he knew him.
I don't know if I've seen him, but I don't recognize the name personally.
Well, Jim Warden, our electrical inspector, is the one that recommended him. So, I don't know how the board wants to handle that. If you want to look around, if you get a couple other people, you know, finding people that are qualified to do it is going to be the hard part. And this guy has all the qualifications and everything else, and of course he'll do it, you know, for the same as, you know, we've been paying Jim, you know, for,
Last time we hired somebody, I think we had 6 or 8 people in there.
Well, but
And
you
5,
didn't
6
consider
people.
very many of them.
No.
well,
I'm just saying, I mean,
I'm looking for
Well, that's-
somebody to
that's
make a
what-
motion.
that's when we hired Dave, and then
Mhm.
when Dave died, we just, we were.
Well, yeah, we went to Jim came back and
So
did
he
it for us.
takes it,
Yeah.
which is great. So, he's been there before.
Right.
Well, if somebody would like to entertain a motion, how you'd like to handle this? This gentleman is available, and he's willing to do the job, and he's qualified. I don't know him, I've never met him, but, you know, I'm going by, and I don't think Jim would not,
Steer us
you
in the
know,
wrong direction.
Jim, he would,
Pretty fussy?
yeah, he's very fussy, so I don't, I'm looking for direction here.
Yeah, obviously before we had, was before I was on. Did you put an ad in the paper? Did you put,
I don't know if it's in the paper or, I mean, there's a limited number of people, and I don't know.
Right, I don't think it was in the
I
paper.
don't remember.
We just contacted people that were, I'm,
I know at that time, I know Mike Bricker was one of them,
Yeah, they were,
right.
Dave Rukowski,
I don't remember 5 or 6, I remember 2 or 3 or 4 on that.
we
so-
were here for about 4 hours.
Oh, jeez, okay.
interviewing.
Yeah, we just took half-hour spots and interviewed them,
Well, that's, I guess that's our decision. If somebody'd like to make a motion, how we go about handling this, you know, the gentleman, you know, and I'm going by Jim's recommendation, you know, and you know how
Yeah,
persnickety he is. You know, if he wouldn't be sending us somebody that wasn't any good, I know that, so.
but
But,
I'm not gonna vote to hire him without at least interviewing him, so.
Okay, yeah.
well, we have a meeting with him scheduled for, Thursday. I'm trying to think.
You do, Thursday?
Just a minute, I'll tell you. Well, he was gonna come in, Jim wanted him to come in. See if I can bring this up there.
The 14th, the 20th? The 14th.
Yeah,
Well,
20th.
we don't have a meeting scheduled for that.
No, Jim and I and this Mark had a meeting for, you know, at 9 o'clock on
Okay.
Thursday morning, just to sit down and talk about it, you know.
I think we should probably try to contact a couple more, just to do interviews and see, I don't know, what do you think, Al?
That's what I think. I don't know that we gotta advertise for it, because there's,
There's only so many.
there must be a website or something where you can get the electrical inspectors, because they're state licensed,
Right,
so you should be able to go on the state thing and, you know, get the local ones, you know.
right.
We don't want somebody from Detroit, we want
Well, just
somebody.
every other community around have part-time inspectors like we have.
Yeah.
Right, and they usually do multiple communities.
Yeah, I work with plumbing inspectors all the time, so it's the same thing.
You know anybody else out there that's electrical?
Mike Dad.
I see,
I don't know.
Mike does some other,
He does Porter Township, I think, that one.
Well, I know the guy who does the whole county, that Mark guy, he does all of St. Louis County, because they have one inspector does the whole county up
And part of it here, I understand.
there. Yeah, so that's how they do
So
it.
he works like Bowerman does up there?
Yep,
He's
just
full.
part-time. Just-
Oh,
Well, it's just,
part.
well, I mean, he does these other things part-time. So it's worth it. Call the couple you just mentioned and see if they're interested, you know?
Well, I got Mike and this guy. So,
Okay. So next month we'll try to.
How long for Jim's? I mean,
he's,
he wants-
sooner the better.
The sooner the better. So we really should try to do this next month, I think.
That's soon enough for him?
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
I think he'll,
yeah,
there's not a lot going on right now.
we don't have a whole lot going on in that one big house, so. And I think he mentioned to me that, you know, that he started it, that he would, you know, if he wanted, you know, for somebody to come in the middle of an inspection, they're not sure where things are, what's happened, that, you know, that he would see that through, but, so. Know anybody else? It's two. I know Mike too. I know
I'm just
Mike,
gonna think
you know.
about it and I'll let you know.
Okay,
Okay. Do you wanna come to that meeting on Thursday? You're very welcome to come. You know, it was just for me to meet him, you know,
Yeah, okay. What time?
9 o'clock in the morning.
I should go to
You know, get-
that. Yeah, I can do it.
you know, then if, you know, we can just bring it before the board then, and, you know, do an interview with the board, whatever you wanna do. Okay. Resolution 214-03.
well, that's part of the public hearing. That's the resolution for the budget, to adopt the budget, so
So
you
we
won't.
want to close the meeting then?
Mhm.
I'll make a motion to close the regular meeting.
We'll close the meeting at 7:18 and a
Support.
half. We have a motion to close the meeting, open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, meeting's closed. Now, we're going to open the public hearing on our budget resolution. Caroline, you want to take that over?
It's pretty much all right in front of you, exactly what we worked on at our committee.
At our meetings,
At our committee sessions. Right.
does anybody have any
Any
questions
questions?
or concerns? Concerns about
Excuse
it?
me.
No, everything's what you said except for the road, change that.
We
Yeah.
did have to change
Yep.
that.
Yeah, we have to
That's
do
fine.
that, you know, in order to balance, you know.
What'd you say,
Well, in order
$7,000?
to, it was, what was it?
In order to put it in balance.
70 some.
7,200, yeah, which,
Yeah. Well,
We were putting
I mean, we could
25
have went line item and cut 100 out of here
No,
and
it's
200
fine.
out of here and 300 out of here, but we'd have been here another 5 hours. And
it's
I
fine.
think that was the best place. That
Well,
was
and the other
really the
thing is,
best
there
place
is
to get-
money left in the account, as you're well aware of, I'm sure, from this budget year. So, it's there
It's fine, but
to utilize too.
this is your opportunity to speak too, so.
I do know what it is,
Oh,
which is why I asked to have it on the website, because I don't know what it is, and it's inconvenient sometimes to stop by.
well,
So,
the budget's 30 pages,
okay,
and that's been available ever since it was advertised, right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's better.
Yeah,
it's
no,
better,
I
yeah.
understand.
And if you want
I
to,
just
if you want to look
didn't
through
catch
this, you're more than welcome to look through it.
I got one here if you want to look at mine too.
And this is the resolution,
Okay,
which is all the stuff's required by the state and the auditors, and whatever. So yeah, that's what the public hearing's for, to hear the public.
Do you have to do these amendments?
No, that's,
That's after.
That's
That's
after,
okay.
because that's the last one, that's the last budget year.
So if everybody's, are there any other questions?
So if we wanted to get a copy of the budget, just to know what the story is on that, we
You
just
can
come
always
to
come
the
in,
office
you
and
can always
get
come
it?
in here and get a copy of the
Okay,
budget.
Right.
I didn't know.
You know, and there's a copy that you can look at
You
here,
can
or,
look at,
you know,
or if we give you a copy, we have to charge you,
Okay.
unfortunately.
But if you wanna look at this one right now and see if it's worth getting, you're wrong.
I'm sure it's probably not.
It's nothing but
I'm
numbers.
sure it won't need much money.
It's nothing but numbers.
And since we have a surplus from last year, that's the good news, right?
That's-
You're being
that's
really
great.
careful with the money, thank God. We have a surplus in almost every fund.
Robert, you wanna look at this too, or?
No, thanks.
So we actually closed the public hearing
Yes.
and go back into the regular meeting and adopt this. don't we?
Yes.
Public hearing is to ask questions.
So if the public doesn't have any more questions, we can close the public hearing,
Mhm.
right?
I guess so.
At
Are
7:30.
there any, Mark, you got any?
Mark, do you have anything? Did you look at the budget?
You certainly did.
Huh? Pretty good budget, isn't it? I don't know.
I move to
Okay.
close the public hearing.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We'll close the public meeting at
21,
7:22.
22?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we will reopen our regular meeting.
And I move to adopt resolution, whatever it is, 2014-03-17.
And I will second.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt resolution 214-03-17. Are there any other questions or concerns? If not, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Rowley?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Tremblay, yes.
This is the
Okay.
resolution if you want to look at it.
Please, I'm tired, Ruth worked very hard on this budget, so.
Ruth did it.
She should have a little.
Well, she didn't do it, but she got it together.
She typed, she got it together.
Thank you.
She
Anyway.
printed it out for us over and over again.
Motion carries anyway. Okay,
Now, the amendments, we need to do one at a time.
That's what I was gonna ask. Do we have to do these one at a time?
We do. Fortunately for us, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4. We
Okay.
spent some time on this one today, I gotta tell you, making sure that that was correct.
I will make a motion to move, is that what I want to move the money to? It's on the back of the end of the budget resolution.
Wait a minute, you just did what?
No, is the motion to move it from, is that the correct word? To move it from
That's fine.
public improvement fund, transfer.
Transfer.
$20,000 from public improvement to the cemetery fund.
You don't have it? Excuse me,
Support.
Cindy.
I
Okay,
might have stuck it in.
so what Cindy is proposing is that we transfer from the public improvement fund 20,000 to the cemetery, which is what we approved to contribute to the chapel. It wouldn't be in there, Mike, so you're missing it.
Yeah, well, I have, you know, I have these apart, I was looking at them.
We can just share them.
Oh, that's okay, just so.
Okay.
We can share. Unless you want. But I supported that, so.
Okay, we have a motion to move those funds.
And these are all roll call, correct?
That's right.
So, if there's no other comments, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Okay. Mrs. Minnie?
Yes,
Mr. Bromley?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Tremblay, yes. Okay, the next one is to transfer from the planning commission to street lighting, which is $327 short.
I'll make a motion that we transfer $327 from the planning commission to the lighting, street lighting.
Right.
Support.
We have a motion and support to transfer the $327. Are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none, I would ask for a roll call vote.
Mr. Apple?
Yes?
Mr. Bromley?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie?
yes.
Mrs. Tremblay, yes. The next one is to transfer from the general fund to the Old Town Hall Fund, $18,400.
I'll make a motion to do that.
I'll second it. We have a motion and a second to transfer $18,400 from the general fund to the Old Township Hall Fund. Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, I would ask for a roll call vote, please.
Okay, so, Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mr. Browett?
Yes.
Mrs. Tremblay, yes. The next one is to move from the planning commission, $1,120 to the ordinance enforcement officer.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. We have a motion and a second to transfer $1,120 from the planning commission to the ordinance enforcement officer. Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, I would ask for a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Browett?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mrs. Tremblay, yes. And that
Motion
was all the
carries.
transfers that we had to do.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
If you were looking at this budget, this was our budget for this last year, and this is our actual activity, and we just juggling stuff
Yeah,
around.
make it even.
Yeah, well, it's what balances,
Sort
yeah.
of like we do at home, right?
Yeah.
Taking from Peter and paying Paul.
More fun.
Yeah.
And they yell at you just as much here as they do at home, too.
Mine aren't that big a number,
That's our
though.
job. Who's
You
our?
betcha.
Okay, moving on, supervisor's report. I really don't have anything to report. Clerk?
Just that we do have, the newsletter, Jessica would like all of our input, by the 1st of April. And so we need to get working on that, because it's my understanding we're gonna mail it this year, right?
That is what we decided that we are gonna mail those newsletters out. Because
It's costly, but-
evidently nobody reads the webpage, so we'll start mailing them again.
Well, there are a lot of people without computers, and they don't pick them up here, and they don't pick them up at the stores, and we're hearing a lot of requests.
So
Try it
for the
again.
amount it costs to mail them, we'll go back to mail them again.
See what happens.
That's pretty much all I have.
If I could just take one moment to, it should be said that we're not planning on doing the spring cleanup this year, right?
Oh, that's right, it should be said.
Yeah, the spring cleanup is not gonna be done this year, because, just the lack of participation, because, we paid, what was it, I don't know, last year, and they had less than a dumpster full of stuff, so I think we'll look at it, and maybe we'll do one in the fall, see what the call is for doing it, but we
Well,
just
last
didn't.
fall, when we did, we had nobody turn in.
Yeah, we didn't have
So we
anything
may
last
not do
fall
it
either.
until spring, we'll decide that later.
Yeah, we'll see as the
And
summer
then the
goes
following
on.
spring.
If
Apparently
we
everybody's.
get a calling for it,
Can I make a comment, or is that not allowed? I don't know.
You can do that at the.
Okay, I was
Yeah,
just
we
gonna say,
did, yeah.
there's so many restrictions on it, it's no doubt, wonder if they can.
Well,
They
boy,
put so many restrictions,
we can do
the
that
dumpster people.
on the extended public comment, because we can talk to you about that.
a lot of the stuff that you wanna get rid of, you can't get rid of anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So why pay them?
So why the township pay a couple $1,000s to do that and nobody participates, so. Our treasurer is in Florida, and it was raining in Florida today, so
Oh, really?
we'll report on that.
Still warmer.
Trustee Cindy?
I know Jody's not here, but we've got this, BSNA, can this wait till next month? Or do we need to do something about it?
I thought that was all set.
I think we're all set.
Oh,
That was all
okay.
set. That was already,
We did this, but I thought it was, we weren't sure on,
We just weren't sure if we were gonna pay for it all.
we weren't sure if we were gonna pay for it all at one time, or if we were gonna.
oh, okay.
Because we budgeted for it,
Well, I know we budgeted.
but we weren't sure whether we wanted to pay it all in one
Okay.
chunk.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Al?
Yeah, I have nothing.
Extended public comment.
Okay, you wanna talk about the spring?
No, I just wanted to say with the spring cleanup, I can understand the township not doing it because they have so many restrictions. Now, I once lived in a place in upstate New York where there's, really, New York is horrible. But they did provide, if they would provide for getting rid of like old paint and junk like that, that would be worthwhile, but for a lot of people, since, you know, they don't do any
Well,
of
there
that,
are
they don't
ways that
retire.
you
they
can
don't
do that.
I know, you can, we just.
You know, the
take
county,
it
the
as a-
county does do that though, and,
When do they do
you
it?
know, I'll try to, when I find out, I'll get it on the website.
On a
or-
regular
or-
basis,
or
actually.
post it, you know, because,
Yeah.
and you can
But
take
we
like
can
old
take-
paint,
yeah.
old paint and stuff. The problem is, and I used to be a painting contractor, so I know about getting rid of paint.
Yeah,
But you have to categorize everything that you take. I mean, I can take anything that I have out there, but I have to write down, even those little stain cans, you know,
oh, wow.
right down to that. Anything that's oil
Uh-huh.
or, you know, lacquer based or that, you have to make
Categorize.
like a manifest, you know, then take it out there and they like click everything off as you go there, you know, so. But you can take it out there at any time. You need to call them and let them know that you're coming, but,
Okay,
you know,
good to know,
it's
Yeah.
kind of a nightmare to go through.
yeah.
Or you can just leave it open.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
or your
yeah,
latex
yeah.
paint, you can
Yeah.
put cat litter in it and let it get hard, and then the garbage
Yeah,
company will
good
take
idea.
it. You know, most garbage companies will take it, just put cat litter in it.
We had huge volumes of trash removed for years. It's just been in the last year that it's slowed right down. I mean, people were waiting for the trucks to get here in the morning, and they would be lined up down the road, so maybe we're cleaned up pretty well.
Well, I think
Yeah.
one year we did like
Oh.
five dumpsters, I think.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's incredible.
Spring and fall.
Huh,
But that was before scrap, before something.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, everybody's sending out.
you could put almost anything out on the curb, it'll be gone in a day.
Okay, anybody else?
I just had a question, if we need something then if you're mailing a bulletin house, when could you, in the past, when you've mailed them,
The Burtchville Breeze you're talking about.
Yes.
What about it?
how
April
soon do we
1st.
need to have the information to you?
By the
April
first
First
of
of April.
April.
Okay,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
we can fax it here to Jessica's attention?
yep.
Okay.
Does that go out, how many times a year does that usually go?
Usually spring and
We
fall.
do a spring.
Spring, fall.
So Mark, do you have anything from the fire department?
Mine's in. I've always done it,
You have.
the day after she.
You are the first one.
You must have a
Good for you.
On the front page.
Huh?
Want me on the front page?
Well, there you go.
You'll probably make the front.
Yeah, probably will.
Okay, somebody,
Can I talk garbage?
yeah,
I know that we went through a big couple-month hassle with garbage, because as I said, listen to all of it, it wasn't, probably the bidding process wasn't handled as good as it could have been. But as I listened to all the complaining, like 15% of the residents wag the tail of the other 85% of the township. And in a democracy, that doesn't happen, but except under a special assessment has to work. 20% can say no, which controls 80%, the other 80. But on a proper bidding process, and I know some people didn't like it because their buddy didn't get a chance to bid it, because I listened to the arguments. Their buddy didn't get a chance to bid it, so they were all opposed. Other people were arguing because they own, if you look through it, they own 2 or 3 properties, and they don't want it because they're gonna pay for 2 or 3 things, because they own some rental units in the thing. Some other people didn't want it because they get to haul their stuff to another township because they own a business in another township. Well, not everybody has that option. You know, so some of the arguments that they were throwing out there as good reasons not to have it, if you look through the argument, were pretty self-serving arguments. Were for the good of the community. I mean, I own property, and I have a dumpster at my place, I could throw my garbage in there, but if everybody else in the township wants it, I would surely pay just so that we would have, fewer trucks on the road. But the bidding process was right, and everybody's buddy. One guy was arguing because 35 years ago, a company sprayed oil on his truck. 35 years ago? You're still holding a grudge for 35 years ago? But then he's also getting paid by a guy to stand here and argue. I mean, so some of the arguments, just because this room was full of naysayers doesn't, there's only about 15% of the people that could get to rally to be against it. That tells me that 85, well, whatever, I'm going
it was 8.3%.
Okay, so 8% of people controlled the other 92% of people?
And it was
Because everybody
137
was
out of
against it.
1,500.
Really,
Out of 1,500.
really
that
for
we sent
people
out.
who were against it came to argue, but the people that were for it didn't come to really argue for it because if it's headed down that path, why do you have to? So I guess I don't think it should be a dead issue, but if the bidding process was done properly, where all the companies got a chance with a fixed amount of sites and a correct bidding process, because that was part of the big argument. Everybody said, well. it
Well, that was their
right.
side of the argument, the bidding process wasn't handled.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, but I don't
You know.
know why, I
I
guess.
mean, did we send out a PFD? We did not send out, a written bid. You know, we called, what we're dealing with is garbage. I mean, there's only one thing we were asking them to do, and it was to pick up our garbage, recycle, and.
So, but as I just,
you know.
as I sit through it, I didn't realize it
Well,
was,
you know,
but
it's-
I don't know if it could be done better, as far as some of the complaints were done.
No, and I understand that.
I
you
mean,
know.
so I just think down the road, it shouldn't be a dead issue forever. It should be looked at and.
Well, and that's up to the, that's up to the
Whether it's
citizens,
6 months or 12 months or 2 years down the road, it should be looked at again.
you know.
Because if Grant Township does it, and most of the residents are happy that I've talked to, said it's so easy and so nice, if little Grant Township can do it, and everybody else does it, I mean, I don't see why we should just be forever against it,
Let it be the will of the people, that's all. This is not an adversarial relationship, that's why I brought this. I want you guys to know, nothing personal. However, I think freedom and democracy were served because it was obvious we need a different way to handle the whole process if it decides to go forward. There could be a vote or whatever, and then we'll know how many. We can't make really generalizations that because not everybody was here, the rest of them all wanted it. That's just silly. Most people don't come to meetings. That's why I came, because it's partly our fault as citizens if we don't talk to you guys and hear what's going on until the last minute. You know what I mean? It's not your fault you don't know what people want,
That's
because
true.
we aren't here.
That's true, Pam, but I believe Mark is pretty,
I don't know, I've talked
because
to quite a few people.
8.3% of the
Well,
people are controlling.
I've
Well,
probably
why don't
had,
we have a vote then? If we
I've
have
had a
vote,
bunch of
we'll
people
know.
call me and say, well, when are they gonna let garbage?
When is
I
it
said,
starting?
Well,
when is
that's
it gonna
because they
start?
thought it was gonna happen.
Well,
But
that's,
they didn't know, and they
They
weren't
need
here to
petition.
put their participation
well,
in.
and
So I
that's
don't-
exactly what
and-
I told them. If you guys
Yeah.
want garbage,
How
get
many
out there and
petitions
get a petition, bring it into the township, and we'll go at it again. You
Well,
know,
yeah, and we
Plain
can,
and simple.
we can learn from the past and do it in a way that everybody feels that their ideas were taken into consideration. We don't want an adversarial relationship with our board. It's
Well,
silly,
no,
and it's
and
just, it
the
shouldn't
board
be that
doesn't,
way.
and that's probably why the board voted not to do it.
Right,
You know,
well.
I mean, we're not, and people, making them, oh, I suppose, and I know you're gonna shove it down our throat. Well, that wasn't our intention in the first place. The way that whole thing fell in,
It just sort of happened
November
that way.
came, we lost our stuff in September, it took October and November to get it in. We sent the cards out at the end of November, just the whole process. But, as public officials, we can't sit here and argue with people. That's a public hearing. You
Right.
guys are,
And I don't think there
you
should be an
guys
assumption
have
about
all the
anything.
right in the world to say what you need to say.
Right.
you
And
know.
if there are so
And
many people
we're
who
not here to
really want
argue
it,
with you,
they're
we're just here to
perfectly
listen to
capable of
you.
expressing it.
You know,
They have to do that.
so,
But
and
I do
that's,
have to say, everyone was allowed to put a bid in. Everyone was
Yeah.
allowed to put a bid in.
Yeah, that wasn't
And then-
my issue.
No,
well,
but
my
that-
issue
that-
is
the
personal
issue the issue with the whole thing is when you
People
get a
said
bid,
that, yeah.
get a bid for 12, and then you get a bid for another $8, which is $20, and everybody else is at 15. Or
Well, I
$12, a month to pick up your garbage.
Can't they do a
What
request
would
for
you do as an
proposals first
administrator?
and then do all that?
Save the paperwork, put it in the basket, because, why waste the paper putting it out there?
I think a sealed
You
bid
know.
process the next, if you decide to go forward with that again, and then
I-
a vote, maybe.
And I take some of
I
the
hope it doesn't happen
responsibility
again personally.
that maybe it wasn't handled exactly. I mean, it was on the up and up and everything was fine, but could we done things better to inform the people? Maybe so. But, they say, well, we didn't know anything about it. Well, if they'd have read the newsletter in October, there's a whole page in there about exactly the process, what was gonna happen, and how it was done. It was in the newsletter, I don't know how much clearer, but I'm not to sit here and argue with the public, I'm here to serve the public, that's what we're here for.
Exactly, and we appreciate that you did that to the best of the ability you have, that you responded
And I
to
think,
that.
and the whole board, I'm sure feels the same way.
Mhm.
You
why we
vote,
didn't vote for it.
you vote your conscience, and you do what you have to do,
Mhm.
so.
I-
And it's, And like I said at the meeting, you know, I was in favor of it all along. When somebody comes to me and says, you know, I can give you garbage, you know, and it's gonna save you $100 a year, well, over a 5-year period, that's $500, you know. And then when we voted to raise, you know, the administrative fee 1%, people went crazy. You know, now we're doing a project that's gonna save people, generally, people that pay a private carrier to do their garbage, we were gonna save them money. But, you know, and if people don't want it, that's fine with me. We just put it out there for the people to do. You know, and Mark, and I agree with you too, and that's what I tell the people that call here, and when's the garbage gonna start? I said, well, it isn't gonna start, you know, but there's other options. You can petition the township to do it again and put it on the ballot, or, you know, there are other ways of doing that, so. And it was too bad, but, you know, that's the process, you know, and it's good, you can come in here and you can bring a group in here and argue those things. That's what makes it nice. That's part of
representative
democracy.
democracy,
That's part
and
of
that's the way it's
democracy,
supposed to be.
absolutely
We
right.
don't have to be angry at each other. We
Yeah,
can just
absolutely.
work at it.
Absolutely, and I never hold a grudge against anybody, you know, they just come in, if that's what they want, that's fine, you know, so. Would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn? Is there anything else? Anybody else?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Well, I hope next
Now
time
I will
somebody
have a
coming
cookie.
in. Now if you want a cookie. Somebody coming in.
I will have a cookie.
Mark?
Guess what, Donnie, it's done.
Oh, my goodness.
Business
All right.